Welcome to OCIMS Retail. For more information, please visit www.ocims.com.my. OCIMS Retail provides an advanced all-in-one management solutions that combines the post-terminal, accounting system, approval system online, e-commerce online, procurement, stock management, sales and customer relationship management, in the latest trend with user-friendliness, and subscription web-based software application that is very affordable to all kinds of retail businesses and accessible with any smartphones or devices. Payables. At the end of this video, you'll be able to view the list of payables that need to be paid and that are aging. Update the purchase order when the invoice received and payment made. Update the payment voucher. What reflect in accounting. Key in the correct account code. Payables. Account payable are amounts of company owes because its purchased goods or services on credit from supplier or vendor. From the home page, please click the account icon. After that, click the payables icon. Payables list will appear. Only the approved purchase order will appear, because those PO are ready to be paid. Here at the payables list, you can perform search function by clicking the search icon on your right-hand side. Example, you want to search AO1, about the purchase goods from supplier. Once you have done, fill up the search options. Please, click the search button to start searching. The purchase order that you search will appear. At the payables list, you can see previous purchase order that have being made. Now, if you look at the total due column, you can see the amounts that needed to be paid. And also, if you look down at the total due column, you can see the total amounts and subtotal amount that needed to be paid. Furthermore, at the aging column, you can see how many days and amounts that needed to be paid. At the job code name client column, you can view the purchase order form approval by clicking the hyperlink. PO form approval will appear. At the PO form approval, you can see the details of the purchase order. And you can also print back the purchase order form just by clicking the print icon at the bottom. Purchase order form print version will appear. At the PO form, you can double-check the quantity, unit price, the total amount and etc. For your information, all of this will be calculated by the system. Now, go back to the payables list. At the payables list, you can update the purchase order by clicking the Show Update Status at the Status column. Update PO Status form will appear. Here, you can update your purchase order by filling it up with related information, or you can also update the purchase order at the Purchasing module. Now, all you need to do is fill up the PO form. First, the PO status. If there are any changes to the PO, you can update by selecting the status. Example, if you just received the invoice and you want to update the PO status, please select the status to invoice received. Second, payment voucher. You can select the payment voucher if you want to issue a check. Example, you wanted to issue a check to the supplier, thus, you can select the payment voucher. If there are no payment voucher to be selected, you can issue the check at the payment voucher module. From the payment voucher list page, if you wanted to issue a check, you can click the plus icon on your right-hand side. Next, select the payment voucher check. Once done, click the submit button. Payment voucher form will appear. Now, all you need to do is fill up the PV form. First, payee details. This section is to issue the check to whom, in this case, the supplier. Now, select the payee. You can double-check at the purchase order form approval. Second, bank account. This section is to select the bank that you wanted to use. If you wanted to add a new bank account, please go to Account Code module at Setting. Third, Date. This section is to key in the date of you issuing the check. Fourth, check number. This section is to key in your check number. Once done, click the Save button to save the check. Next, select the PO that you want to issue the check to, at the purchase order number column. Here, you can double-check the details, based on the purchase order form approval. Once you have done confirming, click the plus icon on your right-hand side. Next, key in the amount that needed to be paid. And the invoice number. Once done, click the Add button on your right-hand side. The added item will appear at the payment voucher details. Next, click the Submit button for approval. The check will appear at the top of the payment voucher list. Now, go back to the Update PO status. Third, date of work done. This section is to update the date of you updating the purchase order status. Fourth, date of invoice received. This section is to update the date of when you received the invoice. Fifth, account code when the invoice received. This section is to update the account code either debit or credit when the invoice is received. Example, when you buy asset on credit and you received the invoice. Thus, the debit will be asset and the credit will be trade creditor. Sixth, account code when the payment is made. This section is to update the account code either debit or credit when the payment is made. Example, when you wanted to pay the trade creditor using cash. Thus, the debit will be trade creditor and the credit will be bank. Next, supplier invoice. This section is to add attachment of invoice. To add attachment, please click the Add Invoice hyperlink and follow on-screen instruction. Once you have done fill in the necessary information, please click Save button to update the purchase order status. The updated purchase order will appear at the purchase order detail. At the purchase order detail, you can update back the purchase order by clicking the pencil icon and fill in with necessary information. Or if you wanted to delete the previous purchase order because of a mistake, just click the delete icon to delete the purchase order. Finally, the purchase order will accumulated and will appear at the balance sheet under the current liabilities. To view the balance sheet, you can go to the Summary sub-module at the Account module. Thank you for watching OCIMS Retail video tutorial. Have a nice day.